Hello there people, Snowcrash here, and welcome back to a new tutorial. I'd like to introduce you to my new farm. I'm calling this one the Wither Taco. And why? Well, just look at it. It looks like a taco, and it has withers in it. I know what you're all thinking. Hey Snowcrash, you already have a wither sandwich. Why do you need another farm? Well, it's simple. I developed this farm to build on my Hypermine Let's Play series. The Wither Sandwich is an awesome farm, but it is big and it has lots of materials. I wanted something simpler and quicker to build that was almost as good. So this farm will allow you to collect wither skeleton skulls either AFK or manually at the rate of about 7 or 8 skulls per hour. Manually, you'll be able to use a looting sword, probably get a little bit more than that. Now, before we get on with building this thing, I need to explain to you where this farm must be built. Just like the taco comes from South America and the sandwich comes from Europe, this farm needs to be built in the right part of the Minecraft world for it to work. You'll need to build this particular farm in the -X and -Z location of your nether. That's right, your coordinates will need to have a minus in front of the X and the Z as shown here. Now, that's an entire 25% of the nether, so I'm sure you'll have no problems finding somewhere suitable. I should also say that it is possible to build this type of farm in the +X and +Z location, but you'll need to modify the farm and it adds more work and more materials. But I'll have a little bit more information at the end of the video about that. As for the other 2 quadrants, I've got no idea. I've not tested the farm in those other locations, and I'll leave it to you guys to do that if you really are so inclined. Now I've told you that, to find the correct place to build this, you're going to need to go and watch my part 2 Wither Sandwich video, which is on the screen and in the description. This video will tell you how to find out where wither skeletons spawn and which place to build this farm. So please go and have a look at that before you continue. Now let's get on with building this thing. Okay, so you've all gone off and watched the videos I suggested, and therefore you're all experts on where wither skeletons spawn. You'll see in front of you 8 green blocks. They represent the spawning area around a crossroads at a nether fortress, which has obviously been removed. So we're going to use that just as a guide, and it is 19 by 19 by 9. We're not going to use it all, but almost all of it. This farm is directional. You'll need to place the V shapes that you saw earlier in an east-west direction. The east is the direction that red line at my cursor is pointing, and you'll also see it up there on the top left facing east. Now we are facing west. Okay, so we'll get this farm started, and what you're going to do is come down here and start building some of these V's. We're going to start over here, and we're going to just staircase down like this, and we will get down to the bottom where the final spawning area is in alignment like that. So we'll just knock out these blocks here, and that one there. All right, we're going to do 2 like that, and then we're going to start coming up again like this. All right, and once we get up to the top, you will see that we are 1 block short like that. So we'll just knock out these. We don't need them. You could leave them in if it was easier, but there we have it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 levels there. All right, so right here, what we're going to do is come up 1 more, and the reason we have to do that is with rails, to get them on a diagonal, you will see that we want a diagonal rail on this last spawning area here. And the only way to do it is to do that. Knock out the rail like this, And then what we can do is just put a little bit of glass there so we don't get any regular mobs spawning on top of here. The minecart will just bounce off like that. So just continue your powered rails down like this. And when you get to the bottom here, this is the important thing. Once again, in the east side, this is facing east, you need to put the activator rail here. Then switch back to powered rails and go up like this. Come up here, and once again, we are going to need another block on top here to make sure that we can get this rail on a 45-degree angle like that. Destroy the rail, put your glass on, and there is pretty much the structure of what is used to collect the mobs and dump them out. Now what we're going to do is just light these rails up. One easy way of doing that is to just put an lever here, and that will do both the activator rail and all the powered rails. And then it really doesn't matter, somewhere in the middle, just pop another lever, and that will turn on that side, like that. Now, before we duplicate these, what I'm going to do is just make sure it's working. So if we pop a card on here, as you can see, it goes up and down. And for the sake of this exercise, I'm just going to pop a mob on here. I happen to have a spawn egg. It's a wolf. It doesn't matter. Put a dog there, and we will... There he goes. All right, that's looking pretty good. Let's just try it on this side. Picks him up, drops him out. Beautiful. Okay, now what we're going to do is repeat this 9 more times with an air gap in between each one. And it will look like this. So you will have 10 of these V-shapes in a row separated by an air gap between each one like that. All right, once you've done that, now what we're going to do is add the second layer of V's for extra spawning space goodness. And what you're going to do is come out here from this green block, which is on the eastern side of the V. So this is the eastern side, that's the western side. And you're going to count out 4 from this green block. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Pop a block in there, another block, another block, and another block. So there's 4. Knock out that one, and what we're going to do is put an upper half slab. That's why we've done that, because we need an upper half slab, not a lower one. And below that upper half slab, there will be a gap of 3. 1 here, 1 there, and the rail, which is also considered non-suffocating. Once you've got that in place, then you'll be able to do this and continue down with upper half slabs, this staircase arrangement, exactly like we've done below it. So, we're not quite there yet. We need to come down 1 more, and then when you get to the middle, you do the same thing. 2 half slabs. 1, 2, 3, 4. Knock that out there, and pop your half slab in there. Another one there, and we can come down like this. It's a little easier to come down with upper half slabs than it is to go up. So we're just about there. So that's it. Let's get all these extraneous blocks removed, and we'll have a look at it and you'll see what's going on. And that's what you... Oh, we went 1 too high there. Let's get rid of that. All right. So there we go. All right, so this is what you end up with. You end up with another V, which the top of it is in exact alignment with those green blocks there, and we can start putting rails on it. So once again, same story. Activator rail on the eastern side, powered rail, etc. Now, why are we using upper half slabs? Well, it's very simple. We need to use them so that any mobs in the carts don't suffocate as they go up and down on the lower section, because if they were solid full blocks, then the wither skeletons would suffocate, and it means we can't drop them as far, which sort of makes the farm less efficient. So we need a solid block at the end here. I mean, I'm just going to use half slabs here. It really doesn't matter. Because we don't want anything spawning on here anyway. The only purpose of it is just to get this rail 45 degrees and pop a piece of glass on there so nothing spawns on it. And there we go. Same on the other side here. Let's just build it up. get rid of that lower one, and get our rails in place like this. Delete that rail and put our glass on top. Okay, now we're going to have to light this up. So on one side it's pretty easy. We're able to come over to this, pop a lever there, and that will light up that side. This side isn't so easy, and we're going to have to make a sacrifice here. We are going to have to double up on that block there, which will cause some minor suffocation. Just one tick as it goes past, but I don't think it's going to cause a problem. So let's do that. Pop our lever on, and that whole side's lit up. So that's pretty much it, people. You've got your two V-shapes in there. We can pop a cart on here, and we can probably not toss a dog down there to its death. Put a dog here that will be collected and then thrown to its death. Okay, so that looks like it's working pretty good. We can put another one there, looking good, and maybe on the downstroke. Yeah, everything's working there just fine. So now we're going to repeat that little top V all the way across. Once you've done that, it's going to look like this. So as you can see, we've got two layers now, and you have more spawning spaces. All right, you're going to come over to the north side. This is the north. This is where the blue line points on the cursor, the F3 cursor, and also up the top there, top left, it's showing that we're on the north side of the farm. And you're going to count down 16 blocks, starting from here being number 1. This is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and this is your 16th block, and it's going to become the platform where the mobs get crushed. So basically, one out from the farm and in alignment with the activator rail, which is just here, what you're going to do is put 2 blocks like that. Get rid of these. We don't need this anymore. Okay, as you can see directly below me, those 2 blocks are one out from the activator rail and 1 extra block east. I'm going to come back down and we're going to add 19 more of those like this. So once you've taken out a total of 19, you will be directly below the gap between the last 2 on the southern side of the farm. If you want to make sure you are getting it in the right location, you can always drop a mob out of here and you'll see that he gets dropped out on the northern side like that. See? All right. See you later, Mr. Wither Skeleton, and join your friends later. Now, what we're going to do here is add the slime blocks and the crusher. Okay, well, we're back over the northern side of the farm here. That's the side where the 2 red blocks here stick out past the farm. And we're just going to put a piston in on each side like this. Sticky piston there, and a sticky piston like and a sticky piston like that. Then you're going to have a gap, and you're going to put in 5 slime blocks like this, a gap, another 5 slime blocks like that, a gap, and another 5 slime blocks like that, and they're going to fit perfectly. You're going to repeat that on this side like this, and you'll be left with something like that. All right, grab some sort of solid block because we're going to need to put redstone on it and bring it all the way down here to that point there. We're going to do the same on the other side. This will let you put your pistons in place and actuate the crusher like that. Grab your sticky piston, put one there, one there and there, like that, and one there. Come down here, and that is it. So this saves on sticky piston action, but it means you're going to have to get some slimes. You could probably use sticky pistons all the way along if you want. It's going to generate a little bit more lag, but anyway, it's up to you to how to do it. Now, we're going to wire this up, and that's going to be pretty easy, so I'll show you how to do that. All right, come over to this side here and come out 2 blocks like that, and we're just going to join this up like this, and then I'm just going to add a platform here for my fading comparator clock. Okay, well, we just need to put in a block here and a block there. We are going to need to extend this out a little bit like this. And finally, we're going to put in 6 comparators that way and then 3 pointing into that block there. We're going to pop a bit of dust down here, get rid of those 2 blocks, we don't need them. We're going to need to put a torch on the side, a side torch like that, and just wire it up like this. Now, you'll quickly see that this starts going on and off. Well, it should, and it looks like it is. It's just going to take a bit of time. There we go. Pop a block on top like this, and put a little bit of dust there, and finally a torch on the end like that. What should happen here is this torch here should just go off and on very quickly. So it stays on for a long time and then off for a very short period of time, and that means we're good to go. So we can just wire it up like this, and hopefully we will start to see some action here. Let's do it on this side. Now, it does travel a little bit too far. As you can see, we're losing our signal about there. We're going to need a repeater. So let's just pop a repeater on here on 1 tick and over the same side here like that. So we should start to see that these blocks will open and close, and that'll allow us to crush the mobs. Okay, so as you know, slime blocks stick to things. When they stick to things more than 12 blocks, they won't move and it'll break your farm, blah, blah, blah. You guys know all that because you've gone and done the research and you understand how slime blocks work. Bottom line is, I'm going to use furnaces here because they work and slime blocks can't stick to them, as you can see. And they're pretty easy to make. But you could use note blocks, melons, and all the other sundry blocks that slime blocks don't stick to. And we're going to come around here. We don't need to use furnaces here, but I'm just going to get the job done. And, come on, it's like, all right, we're almost there. All right. So, now that we've got that covered up, and our slime blocks aren't sticking to those furnaces, we're just going to come around here where these gaps are. And, I mean, I could leave this coloured block, doesn't matter. I'm just going to put a little bit of glass in here where there is no crusher, like that. And we can bring it up a little. Now, we're going to be bringing up these little walls all the way to the top. I'm just showing you where they are. They're in those gaps where there's no crushing going on. That's obvious. So basically, I'm going to make a wall around the whole of these furnaces like this. You don't have to use glass. It just looks good, and it's going to let you see what's going on. Okay, so when you've finished, you will have a glass wall all around the furnaces. You'll also have glass coming up in these gaps here where there is no crushing. Now, we're going to continue this all the way up. Okay, and when you're done, it'll look like this. So we've basically got our wall all the way up in line with the, as a footprint. The furnaces are the footprint, and you've got these gaps. They also come up without me laying glass blocks everywhere. And so, as you can see up the top here, you can see where they've gone. And those little walls, by the way, align with the blocks here, because the mobs never fall down underneath the blocks. They always fall next to these gaps, in these gaps here. So you can see how that works there. Now, this is pretty close. This is getting very close. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to continue this up a little bit here at the edges, like this, so we don't have any mobs possibly spilling out here. And we've got to go all the way up, because remember, we've got this other V here. So we're going to bring it all up to this point here, and with this one, we're going to bring it all up to that point there. Okay, I've just changed that glass out for yellow now. It's just a bit easier to see. That grey was becoming ridiculously invisible. So as you can see, we're going to bring it all up to here like this. Like that. Okay? And all of it. So in between these gaps, we're going to go like this, There's one, and if we can squeeze in here, bring this one up like that, and we're going to continue it all the way to the end. Okay, when you've finished, it's going to look like this. So I'm just going to give you a look at this. So you can see there the activator rail is there. This is a 2-wide slot, and it's in the easterly direction. The activator rail is on the east side of these bottom 2 blocks. You can see there. So I just want to make sure, I cover it again and no one gets this thing made wrong. Now what we should see is if we drop a mob in, we shouldn't have any problems. They should be dropped out like that and no worries. Let's try that again. There we go. Here is another problem. You've got mobs spawning on the top of this redstone. Quick and easy way to fix that is to put some, not redstone, let's put some glass. You could put lower half slabs along here. This is going to stop all too high mobs from spawning on top of your redstone. And you don't want that because it's going to make your life unhappy and you're going to have mobs spawning not in the farm but in your face. And you don't want that. All right. Okay, so now what we're going to need to do is put a chest in the end here because you want to be able to collect all your goodies, and I'm going to keep it simple. Just put a double chest on the end there. You can get fancy with your sorting system and all that sort of thing. I'm not going to reinvent the wheel, so let's just throw some hoppers on here all the way underneath all these red blocks like this. Okay, and when you come up to the end here, you're going to need to add some blocks to stop the mobs falling out. We'll just put down some glass like this, and that caps off the end there, and you can see that the mobs are going to fall down there, get crushed, and everything else. Now, you are going to probably want to add some carpet on top of these hoppers. It stops the mobs glitching into them, although apparently, that has been sort of fixed. It does assist, but every now and then the blaze may get aggro and they might burn your carpet. Anyway, it's up to you whether you want to do it. Let us know in the comments how you go with or without carpet. Okay, believe it or not, this farm is now fully functional. Not very pretty or anything, but it does work. As you can see, I've put the carpet down on top of the hoppers. If I change the difficulty to hard, we'll start to see some action and start to see some mobs dropping out. Here we go. Right, we've got some pigmen, some skeletons, some blaze coming in. They will start to be crushed. There we go, getting crushed. The blaze is going to be crushed in a moment as it floats down. As you know, they come down a little bit slower. Here comes our first wither skeleton. Just listen to that. Good stuff. Okay, so we've got all sorts of things happening. Now, obviously, you want to build a platform around here. And you could get in here and just start, killing your wither skeletons like that manually. Or you can use some tamed wolves and they will do it for you. I'll give you a couple of pointers now about using the dogs, and that'll help you understand how to increase the efficiency. Alright, as you can see now, I've put this little platform down here. On this side, I've just blocked it all off with furnaces. One of the big problems with dogs or tamed wolves is that they teleport everywhere. So giving them the least places to teleport is going to be a lot better and save you a lot of headache. Now, why have I used glass? You don't have to use glass. You could use lower half slabs, but you don't want mobs spawning in here. That's just going to be a problem. So I've just used white glass here, and already, this is just 5 minutes, I've just laid this down. The wither skeletons just in their hundreds here. It's just crazy. So, another thing you need to know is that if you're a bit lower, so in other words, we make this little hidey hole, not only can you safely AFK here, you want to AFK somewhere where you're not going to die, the dogs are still going to be able to get to all points in the farm, but also you're a little bit lower, and that's going to make the farm slightly more efficient. The optimal distance is about 24 blocks from there, but you can't go too low because then the dogs aren't going to operate properly. But you can make a little hidey hole like that, put a trapdoor on to make yourself safe, and it'll all be good. So I guess the next thing here is, I've moved the chest, by the way, just over, use a couple of hoppers, and we're starting to get some stuff now. I want to let some dogs go rampant on these wither skeletons, so I think it's time to tame up some wolves. Now, the big problem I'm going to have is, as soon as I spawn them, they're going to go for these wither skeletons, and I'm not going to be able to feed them a bone. We're down the bottom here, so as soon as we go back up, they will teleport onto this platform, and it's all going to be awesome, and we're going to get munch on all those. So we've got no skulls in there. There we go. And they, even if you're down here, they will occasionally come and say hello to you, but they're going to munch into those skeletons. You're going to get the XP as well, by the way, as long as the balls can float to you, which is about 7 blocks. So they're just going to town on these wither skeletons, killing them, killing everything. It's good, and it's going to take them a while to get through all these guys, but I'll be back in a moment. Okay, well, the dogs have just about chomped through all those wither skeletons. I don't know how many there were, maybe 30 or 40, and that's it. Get into them. Come on, you love it. There we go. All the XP. Hopefully we got some skulls from that. As I said in the description, this farm, there we go, there's a skull. That's fantastic. That's just from a couple of minutes. It will produce about 7 skulls an hour. Well, there you have it, people. The Wither Taco. I had heaps of fun making this, and I hope you guys have a lot of fun building it. In the description will be all the important information, including a world download and a link through to my Let's Play where I fix this to work in the positive X and positive Y location. Anyhow, this has been Snowcrash. I'll catch you later. Cheers.